Hello and welcome to Code with John. Today we will be looking at a very interesting problem on AlgoExpert. This is the three number sum. You have the problem statement in front of you. I will be going through the sample input and the sample output to quickly explain what we need to do. So given an array and a target sum, we need to return all possible triplets which add up to the target sum. If there are no array, if there are no elements in the array, we need to return an empty array. Uh, Alright, so I have my scratchpad ready where I have written the algorithm which I'm going to follow. So let's start. The first thing that I need to do is sort the input array. So the array is called array and we sort it using the sort function which takes in two arguments and maps them according to. Alright, so we have the first part ready. We have to declare a result variable, so let result array be equal to an empty array for now. Part 2 done. We have to start a for loop now. So for I is equal to 0, I is less than array dot length minus 2. Why minus 2? Because we always need to have triplets, and the last triplet that we can see will always start from array dot length minus 2. The next element will be length minus 1 and the final element will be array dot length. Okay, so we have um, from I to 0, from I equal to 0, I is less than array dot length minus 2 and increment I. Within the for loop you need to capture the elements. So let us say that we have three indices. One is called the current index and let this be equal to I. We could just use I, but this will be more intuitive. Let current index be equal to I. Let next index be equal to I plus 1 and let final index be equal to length minus 1. Okay, we have our indices set up. We need to have our while loop now. The while loop goes while the next index is less than the final index, and while this condition is true, we need to compute the sum first. Let the current sum be equal to sum of the first element, so the current index, add this with the entry at its next index, finally with the entry at the final index. Okay, so now you have the current sum. All you need to do is check whether the current sum is equal to the target sum or less than or greater than it. Okay, if the current sum is equal to, there is a typo, the current sum is equal to the target sum. If this is the case, then we need to push array of current index, the next index and the final index. Once we are done pushing, we need to move on because we do not need to return the first triplet. We need to find all possible triplets. So we increment the next index because we need to move on, and we decrement the final final index. Okay, this is done. If this is not the case, if this is not the case and the current sum instead is greater than the target sum, then you know that since the array is sorted, in order for you to come somewhere near to the target sum, you will need to reduce one of the numbers in the triplets. And why not the final index? So decrement the final index. If that too is not the case, then obviously the current sum is less than the target sum, in which case we need to increment the next index. Okay, I think all our conditions are proper. All we need to do is return the result array. Let's check our problem out once more. So we have a sorted array, we have an empty result array, we have the for loop set up from I is equal to 0 to length minus 2. We have the current index, next index, and the final index set up. We have a while loop properly set up. Okay, I think this should work. Yep, that's it. See you in the next.